About the appointment of a new acting CJN, it's quite rather unfortunate that the desecration of the Supreme Court is happening on the same day of a swearing in. But how much of challenges do you think she has ahead of her? We've seen some conflicting court orders in the past year, especially from courts of coordinate jurisdiction, and what some perceive as indiscipline on the bench during the tenure of the outgone CJN. How significant are these challenges, and what monumental tasks await the acting CJN in addressing them?
I must tell you that at this time of our life as a nation and as a people, there are a lot of reforms that the judiciary needs at this point in time. And the new CJN has a lot of reform to carry out within the judiciary. There is a lot of wrong things happening within the judiciary that, for me as a lawyer, I am not proud of. And I also believe that most lawyers are also not proud of what is happening within the judiciary. Especially, let me say, one of the problems I have noticed, or I have always said over time, that has bedeviled the judiciary is the infiltration of politicians in the judiciary. Politicians influencing judgments of court. Politicians, one of the problems I've also stated is, the problem begins from the appointment of justice and judges. And when you see situations where politicians now get to appoint their wives, their cronies, their daughters, their children, and all that into the judiciary as judges, it becomes a problem. It's a major issue, and that must be checked. That must be checked. Because we've had situations where, even if you look at Senator Bukachawa, who was a former senator of the Federal Republic, in his retirement validity speech, we heard him say on national television how he actually influenced things within the country. This is really sad. It is really sad. It is unheard of. We've seen plethora of conflicts of court decisions from courts of coordinate jurisdiction. These things should not be happening within our judiciary. And the new CJN needs to look into these things and fix the judiciary. The judiciary needs proper fixing, because truth is this: the judiciary is the last hope of the common man. When all constant goes wrong, if we lose the judiciary as a nation, then we have lost our nation completely. And let me tell you, whether you like it or not, politicians generally has desecrated our system.
I understand your passion quite well, but recall that the senator's wife came out again to deny all that the husband has talked about. So, except you are believing the senator over the wife who is a justice of the court.
Whether she denied or not, it's not a fact an issue. The point is this, that this statement ought not to have been said from the beginning. It ought not to have been said from the beginning. It only just puts our judiciary in a bad light. And we should avoid things of this magnitude. We should avoid things of this magnitude. If those statements were not made, would she have had a reason to come to defend or to claim that what he has said is wrong or right? No. So, see, we must avoid these things to restore back the hope of the man on the streets. To restore back his hope, because he relies so much on the judiciary. I give you an example. If you look at most of the matters that are happening in the country today, a lot of persons would sit back wanting to hear what the judiciary will say, hoping that the judiciary will do justice. But when people come out, make statements about the judiciary, and we see that these are close friends, family members, husbands or wives of politicians, and when they make these statements and you say the people should actually just throw it under the carpet, the people cannot throw it under the carpet. That is why we must be careful about these statements. It's very important.
Absolutely. I hear you clearly, but no doubt Justice Kekere-Ekun is set to become the second substantive female CJN. We'll see how it goes with the National Assembly, following the footsteps of Justice Miriam Mukhtar. And a lot have been talked about as regards the significance, the milestone this holds for gender representation and diversity in the Nigerian judiciary. We'll see how that will also impact on all of the things you've talked about. Let's take a short break, and we'll return with more. Stay with us, everyone. Thanks for staying with us, everyone. There are several landmark judgments during the administration of the 22nd Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Nwala, among which are the 2023 presidential election judgment, the cash scarcity case, and the recent local government autonomy. And that's what we're looking at in the second half of the show. Thank you for staying the course on the program. Chetem Nwala, lawyer and Pan-Africanist, who joins us live from our Abuja studio. We'll also have Dr. Roland Otaru, who's Senior Advocate of Nigeria, joining us via Zoom. Dr. Otaru, what do you consider the biggest challenges ahead the new Chief Justice of Nigeria, vis-a-vis what transpired today at the Supreme Court?
Thank you. First and foremost, may I use this opportunity to thank the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for cutting short his visit to France or to Paris to swear in the new Chief Justice of Nigeria, my Lord Honorable Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun, JSC, CJN, CFR. And again, I want to say without any equivocation that my Lord Honorable Justice Kekere-Ekun is very cerebral. She has what it takes to be the CJN of this country. She started from the magistracy up to the apex court. As regards what has happened today, I think I know that she's going to address some of these challenges facing the judiciary. There is no doubt about that, because she had garnered experience over time. And looking at her judicial trajectory, you will agree with me that she's indeed a round peg in a round hole.
We're counting on that.
I have no doubt about that.
Absolutely. We're counting on that as well, and we're looking at how it will impact on some of the challenges we've raised earlier. There's the issue of conflicting court orders from courts of coordinate jurisdiction. Is that something you think the office of the CJN can fix within a limited time?
Recently, there was a seminar, in fact, by the Nigeria Bar Association. And indeed, even the body of benchers that I'm a member set up a committee headed by the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, my Lord Honorable Justice Walter Onoge, to look at these issues of conflicting judgments of the Superior Courts of Record. And I know that we are going to get a very robust report. We are going to get a very robust pathway in which to curb these conflicting judgments of these courts. Well, I know that the incoming CJN is going to do something about that too. I have no doubt about that. And if you look at her character is unimpeachable. She has always been there. Anytime she presides in any matter, you know that, yes, this is a judex that knows what he is doing. I use the word he because in law, there's nothing like a she there. We are all men.
Interested.
Women is scared. So that's why I use that word, that anytime she presides in any court section, she's always on top of her game.
Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Dr. Roland Otaru, thank you for joining us on the program. We are hoping to host you in the studio when you return from your trip.
And we'll do that.
Thank you
no
so
problem.
much for your
Thank
contribution.
You so very much.